I'm going to start off with a piece about growing up as a Mets fan in a Yankee town. I grew up in a Yankee town, a small town, but a Yankee town. Long before baseball players lived in mansions, they lived in smaller things called homes. Not far from my family's home, down Blanche Avenue, across the railroad tracks. Past John's Pizzeria. Not far from where I first kissed the tough but cute red-headed Roxanne Stokler, lived Catfish Hunter, Yankee. Across from Hunter lived Gene Michael. In fact, Norwood was the home to several Yankee players: Thurman Munson, Ron Guidry, Don Gullett, to name a few. Every shop in town had pictures of the Yankees. Yes, you couldn't get away from it. In short, it was Mets fan hell. However, this was August 1978, and if I remember correctly, it was a hot, humid, sticky summer day. Andy Whitcomb and I were bored as two sugar-induced demons could ever be. Andy was a school teacher's nightmare. And when we got together, we were the regular Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. High on sucrose, glucose, concentrated corn syrup, and food dye number 3. As Andy and I sat on the curb munching our Pop Rocks, counting how many spider eggs we found in our bubble yum, a Chevy Nova rumbled by. Catfish Hunter. The car pulled up to the driveway next door to Andy's home. Catfish got out with another buddy of his, Greg Nettles. Yankees. They were just coming home from a day game against the Kansas City Royals. Seeing them was nothing new since Catfish lived next door to Andy, but somehow I knew this day would be different. And different it was. Catfish picked up a ball from the front porch and threw it over to Andy. "Here's your ball, kid." Andy looked at me through his devilish dirty blonde hair, menacing grin, and said, "Let's go, Frankie." I grabbed the bat, leaned against his mom's Delta 88, and we darted for the street. And Andy and I played ball on the street. Nettles and Hunter cracked beers in the driveway. And after a couple of tosses, Andy yelled over, "Hey, Catfish, what are you looking at? You're pitching. Nettles, you're playing outfield. This is the World Series, Game 7, bottom of the 9th, tie game 3-3 at Shea Stadium. Frankie and I are the Mets, and we're going to kick your Yankee butts in." Catfish and Nettles took to the street. Andy was up first. He was a feisty kid. He didn't like being placated either. "Pitch me something real, Catfish." Nettles, beer in hand, shouted from his spot as a designated outfielder for our Promptu World Series game on Carter Street, "Up and in, Fish. Don't make the kid make me run." After settling in, Andy cracked a 2-1 changeup over Nettles' head, past Mr. Rainey's Pinto, and deep into Mrs. Lutzo's tomato plants. By the time Nettles dug through the vines and relayed the throw back to Catfish Hunter, Andy had made it safely to third. Andy was beaming and Mrs. Lutzo was screaming. And I was up next. The Mets. "Come on, Frankie, you can do it. Come on. Come on. You can do it." Oh, my hands began to sweat. Catfish pitched a fastball outside the home plate manhole cover. tell it wasn't going to be a dead giveaway. Andy and I were going to have to earn this win or lose everything. In short, this was the real deal. The count was 1 ball. 1 squished tomato under Nettles' foot. And 1 cute redhead peering from the outfield bleacher box windows of our impromptu Carter Street Stadium. This is it, I thought. This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for my team, the Mets. As I pushed the strands of hair from my face, Nettles moved closer to the third base bag, hoping to get a tag on Andy should I pop the ball up. Full count, bottom of the 9th inning. Game 7 of the World Series. The go-ahead run at third base, and it's all up to my filthy pop rock, sugar-glazed hands and my pro-ked sneakered feet. I took a deep breath, and I settled in, focusing only on hitting the ball. Andy's hollering hollered into the background, and for a moment it was just me and Catfish. And I was going to do it for my team, the Mets. Hunter served a belt-high fastball over the plate, and I swung. All I remember is Andy jumping for joy as the ball lined past the diving Greg Nettles. We had won the World Series. Andy and I hugged each other, jumping up and down, hollering so loud the neighbors came out to see what was going on. And Andy pumped his fist so high in the air as we did imitation mock laughs of Vinnie Barbarino and Arnold Horshack. Nettles and Catfish picked up their beers, smiled, and one of them said, "Kids, go home and eat now. Good game. You deserve it." Later that evening, walking home, heading down Carter Street around Broadway, cutting through the railroad tracks, I heard a familiar voice coming from the friendly yellow-lit porch of Roxanne's house. "Congratulations, Frankie. You did it." Then she planted a kiss on my cheek. Then before I could blush, she went back inside. The door closed, and I continued on my way. The hero, the slugger, the newly indoctrinated baseball fanatic. Just a kid, but one who just tasted the quiet glory of being a Mets fan.